Great.
Can you say your first and last name and spell it out, please?
Senator Maile Shimabukuro, Maile, last name Shimabukuro.
Mhm. And then, so I'm calling you about Senate Bill 2322. Can you tell me a bit about that bill?
Yes, this is a bill that's been pushed by the Surfrider Foundation and beachgoers for many years now. And basically what it's saying is that, the Department of Health, who already does water sampling at various tier one beaches across the state, that they should stop their practice of um, suspending their testing when there's brown water advisory. So meaning that, when there's been a heavy rain or a storm and you'll notice that something, the beach is visibly brown, right? The DOH's practice is that when that happens, they suspend it. They don't do their normal testing of water. And it's very troubling, to surfers and beachgoers because when they do that, then there's like there's this void of data basically, and so then what happens is there's just no data on those days, and then what we see on the reports from the DOH is that Hawaii's beaches are clean, everything's fine, there's no reason to be concerned. Um, when actually there's huge gaps in those data during those brown water advisories, and so you know and on the flip side of that, sometimes too, it can go overboard in the other direction because, for example, in January, DOH issued a brown water advisory for 3 weeks on Maui, saying that there's brown water, and then they just tell the public not to go. And Surfrider, who does independent sampling of water, which they've been doing out in Waianae for some time now, they actually tested the water and found that while there were days where bacteria was high, there were other days when it wasn't high. And so the beaches were actually being closed unnecessarily. Um, and so really, the beauty of this bill is that it really shouldn't cost any additional money because DOH is already sampling these tier one beaches anyway. And all we're saying is that, when there's a brown water, when the water's brown from storm runoff, whatever, just continue the sampling you're already doing just so the public can have an accurate picture. Which as I mentioned, sometimes it could mean that yes, there is bacteria and we shouldn't be going to the beach. And other times, even though there's brown water, actually the bacteria is low enough and the beach is safe to go to. And so that's really what all the bill is trying to do.
And by any chance, do you know why the DOH doesn't do this already?
I'm not sure. I know that the DOH, I think they're concerned about, I think one concern that I've heard is that they might be concerned about the safety of their staff, having to go out during brown water. And they've cited things like an EPA thing that says that when there's brown water, you have to test every single day. But actually, the Surfrider Foundation disputes that and says that actually you can wait until the next day to test. Um, and I'm not sure. I think they also are just assuming that because it's brown water, it's because it visually looks that way, they don't even have to test and just assume that you can close the beach, just close the whole beach down. Um, and when actually, like I said, in actuality, when Surfrider Foundation does its independent testing, they found that that's not the case. And so, I'm not sure. It might be best to find out from DOH what their concern is. Um, but I think that, the independent data that's been coming out of Surfrider Foundation can really help to address DOH's concerns, um, and really make this a more widespread, because Surfrider being a nonprofit doesn't have the capacity to test every single beach. They do a few certain ones where there's volunteers willing to come forward, such as at Pokai Bay in Waianae, where we have a team out there. But it takes a lot of effort. These volunteers have to go every other Sunday, go down to the beach, they have to get the sample. And when you're from Waianae, you have to drive that sample all the way to Kiwalos in town. Yeah. And you have to do it within a certain amount of time. You have to keep it cold, so not every beach has the volunteer manpower, and Surfrider doesn't have the capacity to do all the beaches that DOH does.
And then I saw, is this bill going to be heard on Friday, right?
Yes, yes, I believe it is scheduled for Friday. So very excited. I hope your news story can really get the word out about the need to weigh in on this bill, whether you're for it or against it. I really hope that people are aware of this issue and can have their voices heard on Friday. It can be on Zoom or in person.
And then is there anything else you would like to add on about this bill?
Um, well, just that I'm just so grateful to Surfrider Foundation and the many other organizations that have been pushing for this issue. Because for us personally out in Waianae, it's been a long-standing concern. At a beach such as Pokai Bay, where so many people have reported getting staph infections, have to be hospitalized after swimming there. And it's been so frustrating because the community, continually complains about this, but then everything we hear back from the state is that the water is safe, it's perfectly, according to our testing, it's clean, and there's no reason to be concerned, or that the pollutants are coming from the land, not in the ocean. And so um, we're really hopeful that this bill can help to shed more light and to increase the testing during brown water to really provide validity and more transparency to the public about when there are high bacteria levels and when they should be careful, you know. And and hopefully you'll get a chance to interview Surfrider Foundation, Lauren Blickley and others there. They can give you a lot of insight into this too, as well.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm actually talking to her at 11 over Zoom.
Oh, great,
Maybe
great.
speak
And
to her
and
as
I'm also
well.
grateful to the students. The students from both Nanakuli High and Waianae High School have gotten involved in this effort by Surfrider Foundation, and they're getting trained on how to do the water sampling. And Surfrider also got a grant from the Hawaii Community Foundation to hopefully get a water sampling testing lab at Waianae High School because they've got a great marine science program there. And so once this Hawaii Community Foundation grant comes through, then hopefully our volunteers and others from the west side won't have to drive all the way to Kiwalos. They can take their samples to Waianae High School and get them tested there. And this is all just to help to support what DOH has already been doing, which we really appreciate DOH, by the way, who's been coming out daily to Pokai Bay and other tier 1 beaches across the state. And we just want to support their work and have them continue it even when there is brown water.
Perfect. That's all the questions I had, unless there was anything else you'd like to add on.
I think that's it. But if you get a chance to, Representative Cedric Gates would probably be interested in weighing in on this as well, because he's been passionate about this issue on the House side too.
Yeah, I'll for sure see if I can look into like talking with him for sure.
Yes, yeah, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you again so much. Gonna stop the